Today's episode is a microcosm of the infinite canvas of the world of art. On this canvas, expression takes many forms. Yet the aim is always the same, to communicate an idea, emotion or a purpose. All this in today's episode of the New Creative India, presented by Absolute Music CDs.
In a nation of jewelers, Farah Khan Ali has made an enviable position for herself and her work. An artist whose medium is jewels, Farah's designs are sought by the style icons from around the world.
Vikas and Mickey Malani turned their hobby into their art practice. And a rare kind of art practice it is. Vikas and Mickey's tattoo prowess resounds far and wide.
Aristotle famously said, the aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. And no one does it better than Bose Krishnamachari, artist, designer, curator, and a mentor to many young struggling contemporary artists.
She grew up surrounded by glamour and the fine things of life. She channeled that sensibility into her love for gems and stones. Today, Farah Khan Ali is feted all over the world for the intricacy and detailing of her jewellery. She has transformed as an artist and a businesswoman. But do these very different worlds ever collide?
Farah, there's something constantly catching my eye, something blingy. I really want to know what exactly is this on your fingers right now?
Well, that is called the social butterfly. It's a ring that I made with yellow diamonds, yellow pink sapphires and rubies.
Wow.
And it's something just to stand out. It's meant to be a conversation starter. So,
Like right now?
like right now.
Just did that.
Does it define you somewhere?
I think it defines me because I believe that you should wear a piece of jewelry. The jewelry should not wear you, you know. So even when you wear something as opulent and as grand as this, you wear one piece. You wear something that stands out, makes, you walk into a room and have heads turned. It defines me because that's my personality, very vivacious, very bold, very free, and like the butterfly, you know, I live my life on the edge.
You've been a family of designers, you know, you almost like breathe design. Yet I believe it was a moment of chance for you where you became a designer.
I didn't ever want to be a jewelry designer. It's something that happened to me. This friend of mine was going to LA to do a course in gemology, and she was going to go there for 6 months. And I decided, let me just tug along with her because 6 months in LA, just party. That's all I thought of. I'm just going to party, you know. So I land up in LA and I sign up for this course. And the first day, I opened my books and I'm in a shock. Because gemology is the study of the chemical, optical, physical properties of 99 minerals and their gemstone varieties, okay? And so, from trying to be a party animal, I ended up being the Indian nerd who studied every day of my life there.
You went through all of it.
Every day. Because it was like this. The question in gemology is like, if the specific gravity of a diamond is 3.52, it has to be 3.52. You can't come up with 3.51 or 3.50. They're numbers, you have to remember that. So I ended up being the Indian nerd, and as they say, fate had plans for me, and here I am.
How does gemology, help in your practice?
Well, it's like this. When you're a fashion designer, you need to know the fall and the feel of a fabric before you construct something. So gemology helps in making me study the stones and allowing me to construct them and set them in a beautiful piece of jewelry. My study of gemstones allowed me to be able to experiment in design.
You use a lot of other materials as well in your...
In my jewelry, I use a lot of color because I think color is very exciting. It allows you to do so much more. It's like viewing a world in a colorful world. You know, if you don't have color, you'd just be seeing black and white, you know. anything that has luster, that has life, and that can be combined to create a beautiful piece of art. That for me is something that I want to possess. And in my designing, people always ask me, how do you design? That's one question that people keep asking.
Process.
The process. I would say that for me, it's the gemstones that inspire me. So because each gemstone is a natural gemstone that has its own particular history. These gemstones came out of the earth millions of years ago, and the process for them to reach us has also been a very long process, you know. So when you look at a gemstone, it actually talks to you, and you get very inspired to create something. So that's how I work. I mean, I look at the gemstone and I say, okay, this has to be set in a certain manner, and I will try and maximize that potential and make it a piece of art that will go through generations and bring a sea of memories. Jewelry design is like architecture, okay? It's not, it's architecture because even when you're setting a piece of jewelry in metal, it's the form that you're creating, it's the height, it's the thickness, it's the curvature. Every designer thinks differently. And if I give 5 different people the same sketch, each one will interpret it differently based on their experiences. So, and that's what makes the design different. The experiences and the interpretation of the design from a 2D sketch to a 3-dimensional piece of jewelry, you know. So that's where the challenge lies. And each time I'm inspired to create, I make sure that it's something where I can tell a story, because I need to emotionally connect with my customer, because this jewelry piece is going to outlive the customer, and it's going to go down generations where, you know, precious is going to become priceless.
So is that the only way, like, you know, you talking to the gem, or are there other instances which inspire your work?
Personally, I am more inspired by nature, as well as animals, because I find it a challenge to recreate what God has created. And so all my jewelry has a lot of nature-based, motifs, and very flexible and movable. And I think the best compliment I've ever received is that my jewelry is alive. And,
That's true.
That is my compliment. Like you said, the butterfly's wings move. So the idea is to create the movement and be alive.
So Farah, how do you transform these simple, beautiful gems into these beautiful, luxurious pieces? What's the creative process?
Pieces is the word.
Yeah, what's the creative process?
The creative process is unfortunately not that glamorized as people assume jewelry designing to be. It all actually begins with a thought, an idea that converts into a sketch, you know. And from the sketch, we decide what gemstones we are going to play with and what gemstones we're going to use. The 2D sketch goes into 2 processes, either one that is. One is the CAD model, which is the computer-aided design, where the 2D sketch is used on computer and transformed into a 3D model. In model making, we actually, it's like sculpture. You take a piece of wax and you carve the wax to get the form of the piece of jewelry. The 3-dimensional model is taken and casted into a silver master, so that if we want to make 100 pieces in gold, we can do that, you know. Now, once the pieces of jewelry are casted into gold, there's filing, polishing, finishing, setting, all these processes that come. When someone is creating art in a beautiful piece of jewelry, it's very essential to make sure that the stone, the most expensive gemstone, is held in such a manner that it never drops out. You need to tell the story of where it began and where, the journey that it took.
Long journey.
It's a long journey. And I think that's what we do. We tell a story. I would say I don't sell jewelry. I sell pieces of art.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that today there's a design value being attached to it.
Farah, you're really active on the social media also. I think it's a great thing to put your work out there, for viewing, for judgment, and really makes you open as a designer.
The question most people ask me is, why do you post all your designs online? Aren't you afraid of being copied? And
True.
I always tell them, I said, well, imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And I said, I create, others copy. So I think my destiny is jewelry design, is creativity. And I feel truly humbled and blessed that I live to design. I don't love to design, I live to design.
On Zolo Hive New Artist of the Week, inspired by spirituality and chakras, Vijay Kumar Aarumugam creates a bespoke theme for the Zolo Hive.
I designed something called the Awakening. So, like the name suggests, it talks about energies that rises from your base chakra to your third eye chakra. This Devi is there. Drag the chakra and the third eye opens and she also opens her eyes. Icons are borrowed from the Devi that I made, the lock screen, a lot of elements from there, like accessories of Devi. Wallpaper is going to be pretty simple. I thought because they're going to be icons, so we'll use a feel of cosmos. It just gives that feel of, this true unlocking of yourself.
Once identified with hippies and vagrants, it has transformed into a form of personal artistic expression. It's a unique form in which the artist and the patron are partners in the act of creation. What did it take for Mickey and Vikas to not practice mainstream art forms and instead experiment with tattoo art?
With all this live action happening, I am really curious to know, why did you choose the body as your canvas and not a conventional canvas as your canvas?
You have a canvas in the house, how far can you travel with that? One place, twice, and then it'll damage like a tattoo on your body.
Yeah.
Basically, you're carrying your story wherever you travel to.
Why we choose body as a canvas is you can take it to your grave. There's nobody can steal away your art. Okay, you can have so much of your emotions, which even 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, from your father to become a grandfather. You can take your story from one generation to another generation.
When did you start off that this is what I want to do in life?
Since childhood we have been traveling to Pushkar a lot. And that time I used to just do doodling. I used to just doodle in my papers, make my own artwork. Once I met this person who was a tattoo artist and she asked me that, okay, you do some great job. So she asked me, can you explain me this? Why is this like this? Why is like this? Why do you have made this look like this? And I was like, wow. Art has so much of definition in it. And it's when you explain it to the other person, that's when you really get yourself into their shoes. She pushed me up, okay, you should definitely take tattooing as a career, because the kind of strokes you do, the kind of linings you have, the circles that you do, you could be a good tattoo artist.
I leave my emotion on somebody for the rest of their life. So I might doing the same job every day, but I do it on a different person.
You're a part of their personal story.
Yeah, exactly. So it was the thing where I can connect with more with people.
Were you ever scared about the fact that while I'm pursuing this form of art, I might not be taken seriously, or tattoo as an art might not be taken seriously, because India is fresh with the tattoo culture?
Yes, it was absolutely 10 years back, a decade back, you can say India was really fresh, and tattoo has always been a taboo in India. And it was so difficult to convince my family, convince people around you that, okay, you want to be a tattoo artist, and end of the day, look at you like, oh my God, really you want to be a tattoo artist? But I never thought like that. I just wanted to give myself to this, because this is what I got from my mother. that she always used to tell, do what you love and love what you do. I feel being an artist is like a God gift to you. And you live every moment of your life creating a new design and putting your thoughts into it. We are bringing a lot of dignity to this art.
Certainly seems like you guys are really rising, and I so hope that. But tell me, you must have had like crazy experiences. Some of the best tattoos, worst tattoos. What were the best tattoos that you've done?
I've got one very brilliant tattoo. Probably, I think it's one of my best tattoos in terms of my work, also in terms of concept. Also, client of mine named Shashvi Khanna. She's got an auto rickshaw tattoo on her, and I really wanted to do something like that out of the box. And I asked her the reason why auto rickshaw. She's like, well, just my lifeline. I mean, I travel every day so much with it and everything, now and then, and it's probably something that has served me to enjoy my life.
The craziest tattoo I would say I have been doing is the same guy coming to you, getting it done, getting his girlfriend's name written. Then he comes back, oh, I'm sorry, this is the wrong name I got done. Huh? Yeah, she's not my girlfriend.
I've just learned how deep tattoos go and how amazingly serious and amazingly popular the whole art form is.
It's very biographical, and people take it to their grave. They engrave it. Lovely meeting you, brothers, and we want to get a line drawn by you too.
No, definitely. I make sure that I poke a little bit.
He has transformed the world of art not only as a painter but also as a designer, curator, an organizer, a fashion aficionado and a gallerist. No wonder Bose Krishnamachari hates categorization. The only tag he wears proudly is that of being a Mumbaikar.
Mumbai has given me everything, Mumbai artists, Mumbai city, like Mumbai taught me everything. Mumbai is a university.
How does it impact your work as an artist and as a person?
I think in the extremities coexisting Mumbai, it's almost like a death and life. There is no grey scale in between. I would say the extremity is more powerful. In that reason I do different kinds of work. Even if I do my abstract eclectic, I just oppose with minimalist braille paint, braille artwork. So it's a kind of juxtaposition of extremities, one of my kind of practice. And city offers the chaos and I find order. I learned it from the city, how to manage chaos.
You dislike being categorized. Do you feel that categorizing an artist sort of limits
like in the 80s or 70s, if you look at it, like one artist, if you take it, they used to have a certain kind of painting or certain ways of sculpting. They have not just done painting, like I do believe the same thing. And I'm a son of a carpenter. I was very good at craftsmanship.
Wow.
So I could create anything I do believe. And, realistic sketches. I used to do 5-minute sketches in a restaurant for my survival in Mumbai.
Binale, that's one of its kind. Why is it so?
Riyaz and myself, felt that, like we have fantastic film festival, we have art fair in Delhi and a theatre festival in Trichure, but when it comes to visual art, everything is been sidelined, compared to literature or anything in Kerala. So we felt that the Biennale would be the right thing, and it is a non-profit making thing. It is not like there is no sales and whatever. It's only creative thinking, creative practices we'll be showing.
What was the response in the first Biennale?
It was incredible. If we look at it, the first Biennale, we brought 400,000 people. Every other year, you have new curators, new vision, new spaces in Cochin, and you are all welcome.
As I see again, sharing is an important part of your art practice. You mentor a lot of artists. You're one of the rarest artists who looks beyond your own self, beyond your own practice. What brings about that side of you?
There are so many people who have talent, so many people. But whenever I walk around, I see, there's so much potential we have. It is this younger generation of people especially. I'm happy to do whatever possible. It cannot be taught. These kind of things cannot be how you can be mentoring, how you can make your taste. You cannot teach these kind of things. It cannot be taught. The truth or the taste can be learned. If you have a commitment, if you have responsibility, you can receive things and filter it and make it beautiful. Every artist shared some kind of interesting thoughts, some kind of interesting anecdotes they shared in my life, and I learned it from them.
So do you think your efforts towards making art popular as it gets, has it transformed the way the Mumbaikars perceive art or Indians perceive art?
How you see it, it is your perception, things will be beautiful or things will be bad or whatever. It's up to you to see this world with your own pupil. Pupil is a small one. How it make it larger like a mirror is up to you. I think, believe in yourself, trust in yourself. It cannot be taught. You, through your work, you can achieve whatever it is.
Next week on the New Creative India presented by Absolute Music Series, we meet Abu Jani and Sandeep Khosla. These fashion and interior designers describe their style as maximalist. He's the man behind some of the most memorable animated ad campaigns. But Vaibhav Kumaresh is also an artist at heart. You may not be familiar with the name, but wait till you see his work. An artist who you either love or hate, but can never ignore. Shine Shivan redefines the boundaries of contemporary art with every creation.